Hello, I'm Seth,
And I'm Matt.
and this is We Make Up Movies, where on a more or less weekly basis we'll bring you content where we come up with basically movie concepts from the strangest headlines and even stuff we come up with ourselves. So Matt, you ready to start the first episode?
Absolutely.
Very good. We've been waiting a long time to do this. And let me just pull it up. Very professional show here.
Always ready.
I have my pseudoscience facts here. All right, Matt. This is a great inaugural episode, I think. This is perfect for us, judging off our sense of humor.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, this article comes from The Mirror, which is a UK magazine, or newspaper, more likely.
It's whatever.
It is what it is. This comes from mirror.co.uk in the Weird News, Weird Science section. Alright, Matt, this is terrifying.
Really?
It's terrifying, especially if you hate rodents.
Let's build some suspense here.
Alright. It says, rats of the future could be the size of sheep or even bigger.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Now there is a rodent this size, but only lives in South America. It's called a capybara. You know, you may have seen it. It's what anacondas eat.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big freaking rat.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. It is. Here's how the article starts. The terrifying scenario could become a reality as the super adaptable rats take advantage of larger mammals becoming extinct. Because a lot of larger animals on this planet are over time becoming extinct.
Yeah, our bad. Sorry.
Sorry, animals. Rats could grow to the size of sheep or even bigger as they evolve to fill vacant ecological niches, it is claimed. Animals from Dr. Jan Zalasiewicz. Okay, fact check that.
Dr. Z.
Dr. Jan Z. We'll call him Dr. Jan Z. Animals will evolve over time into whatever designs will enable them to survive and produce offspring. For instance, in the Cretaceous period, when the dinosaurs lived, there were mammals, obviously. But these were very small, rat and mouse size, because dinosaurs occupied the larger ecological niches. So, and basically once dinosaurs were out of the equation, mammals, which we are, got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I wish we had better production so you can see both of Matt's hands. It is what it is. So, basically what they're saying is giving enough time and the proper conditions, rats in some places could be the size of sheep.
Sweet. Now, what would this do to the pet store industry?
Dear God, I hadn't even thought. It would be more like the livestock industry. Eventually, we would like raise rats like we raise sheep
Or cows.
instead of wool sweaters. You'd have
Rat fur.
rat fur sweaters. Yeah,
I wonder if it'd be any less itchy.
probably not.
No.
All sweaters are itchy bad, unless they're fleece.
Exactly.
Oddly enough, made from sheep. Ha.
Hmm.
Now, the world's largest rodent, the capybara, they reach 80 kilograms for anyone in Europe who's watching this. If you're watching this in Europe, I'm so sorry. And for the standard American individual, 176 pounds. Once again, sorry if you're watching this. Which is about the size of a big sheep. That's sheep size. It's human size.
Ooh,
It's about Matt size. Imagine a rat as big as you, Matt. Pretty much.
that's scary.
We're all going to die, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're getting at here. So first of all, we have to come up with a title for this film. Now, and the premise has to be, this can't be like hundreds of years in the future. It needs to happen like now, like something's gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, because we could do 100 years in the future, but where's the fun in that?
Yeah, if we do 100 years in the future, you'd have to speculate on technology and blah, blah, blah. And also you want it to be reasonable because some time has passed since whatever's happened has happened.
Mm-hmm.
So put that away.
So, the way we should approach this is obviously we're doing some kind of apocalyptic scenario because
Definitely a very
giant rats. They're not gonna be all that afraid of people.
no,
And
unless we breed giant cats. Then we will want. Then the cats will take over. No matter what we lose.
so what we've got to do is we got to figure out a good scenario for these rats. Almost when you said rat-pocalypse.
Our producer has showed us a possible title or a possible what they would call it.
Yes.
The Rat-pocalypse.
Would be something that the characters would start to say, and then someone would just go, "No, that's stupid. We can't go with that." But then it just sticks. Anyway,
Rat-pocalypse. I love it.
so what we've got to do is almost like a zombie apocalypse kind of scenario I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
Because,
I mean, like, but like, for it to be like a true for shock factor at the opening of the movie, you can't let the people know that it's a rat apocalypse. You want people to actually show up to the movie. So if you let if they know in advance, if they know in advance it's rats. I mean, if you show that in like the first few seconds, I mean you're boned.
yeah. What
You have to get people into one. You'd have to have very ominous trailers.
Yeah,
which is doable, and also you couldn't let anyone review the movie.
which in order for this movie to actually be seen,
It would have to be an indie film.
yeah, either that, and what you'd have to do is you'd have to do things. A lot of misdirection would have to go just into the titling of this movie alone. So you couldn't just call it Rat-pocalypse. You'd have to call it something like
That's the sequel.
Yeah, that's the sequel. It would be you'd have to call it something like mutagen or mutation or
Mutation.
there we go.
There we go, mutation, because we have to find, let's say, chemical spill's overdone. It has to be like a major event happens. Like, let's say, terrorist attack. Terrorist attack overdone again.
Yeah.
In this day and age, it's overdone.
Well, we go old school. Nuclear.
Nuclear? Yeah, but then there's already an apocalypse.
Not
mean,
necessarily. It'd be
so,
like
so you're talking about Fallout
yeah,
with giant rats, basically.
not necessarily. I'm talking more along the lines of
Like
toxic sludge, rats, and So this would be like the outbreak of the rat apocalypse.
The outbreak of the rat apocalypse. So what happens is basically, let's say, good backstory. Civil War in Russia. Crazy people take over Russia. Cold War starts over again, except this time it turns hot.
Yes.
Yeah, so it turns hot. Nuclear apocalypse and Fallout happens. Fallout Rat Vegas, as we'll call it. Fallout Rat Vegas. I love it. That'll be the video game based off the movie. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so and we'd have like a big sweeping, like, after the intro, you'd have to have a big sweeping, like, explanation of, like, where there's like a narrator. Oh God, who would make it? Patrick Stewart narrating.
Yes.
Patrick Stewart narrating, because we forgot to mention, since this was in the Mirror, which is a British source, this is an all British movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no American actors, no American anyone in this movie. At most, you might get Peter Jackson as a Kiwi directing. At most.
Yeah. Well, shit.
Or, no, fuck. Edgar Wright.
Well, that means we can't be writers.
No. We just sell it to Edgar Wright. And then he's like, oh, I love it. Or however Edgar Wright talks. And he makes the movie. And because Edgar Wright's directing, we have to put Simon Pegg and Nick Frost in it.
Duh. That would be
Freeman. Yeah.
That would be the type of thing. I mean, like, look at the movies they've starred in.
I mean, they have a trilogy.
Yeah.
Great trilogy. If you haven't watched the Cornetto trilogy, Go do it.
Seriously.
Stop the show. Go do it now.
You'd spend your time.
We make it movies official endorsement.
Yeah, you'd be wasting a lot less of your time, honestly.
Yeah,
So,
it's better than watching this. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
we got.
so we have Edgar Wright directing.
Yeah.
And he's good at direction, so it works.
Yes.
But
yes.
who would I guess we could have Peter Jackson producing because he produced King Kong. And as far as like producing effects, why that's not my favorite movie by any means. I think for production value, it would be worth it. So basically, what we're getting at, this is an all Commonwealth rat-pocalypse movie. But how do you start it? Now, I have an idea in my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because I've been thinking about this for a little bit. So, you start out, there's a guy.
Wow.
I've been thinking about the rat-pocalypse, yeah. I have too much free time.
Obviously.
The rat-pocalypse, I think about it every day. Every night before I go fall asleep, I think...
Zombies.
Screw zombies. I'm worried about giant rats. There's more science towards giant rats than zombies right now.
I don't know.
Okay, we'll leave that for another episode.
Yeah, that's another episode.
That'll be for our spin-off show.
Oh.
Anyway, so okay, imagine this guy. He's like it's like after the apocalypse. We're in, can't be in London, that's too obvious.
No, it'd have to be,
Manchester.
Yes.
Manchester, next biggest one. Man United, yay! Anyway, official endorsements.
You whore.
I am. I endorse anything that I like. Oh, Jesus!
What the hell?
Our producer threw something at us. Maybe it's a clue to what we... It's a knitted chicken. It's a chicken tea cozy, it looks like. It's a chicken tea cozy!
So...
Oh, this is amazing.
What we do is... It starts off in Manchester.
Yeah.
Picture, if you will, Ruin Street, classic zombie apocalypse setup. Almost to the point where after the intro, the entire audience starts rolling their eyes because it's like
zombies, zombies. It's another stupid zombie movie.
So you're panning down the street, and all of a sudden you see this just giant blur run across the camera.
Yeah, and then you have like a guy. And he's like in a rundown building, and he like kind of pokes his head out of the door. It's like he's been like looking for supplies in an old burnt out shop or something, and he like pokes his head out, looks this way, looks that way. He's being. By the way, this is Arthur Darvill, who played Rory on Doctor Who. Oh, he'd be perfect for this scene, would he not? Like that face.
Yeah, that
he's definitely a good enough actor to do it. I mean, we got it.
Yeah, that kind of petrified, like, crapping yourself.
I mean, he's done it on Doctor Who. He can do it for Mutation.
Exactly.
So Arthur Darvill's looking at a window. Or the shop door, and he looks this way, looks that way. Coast seems clear. He's like, and he yells up, there's other people with him, but we haven't seen him yet.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, the coast is clear, I'm going to go out. And you look up, and then it shows up in the windows. You see people, with guns and stuff in the windows aiming down and stuff. And these are covering him.
And unlike a zombie apocalypse situation, in this one, they're going to need big guns. Because these are big
right. I mean, we're talking like, M16 is not going to do the job here. We're talking like, what's a big one? AK-47 minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, big bullets.
You're going to need it.
Like M107 50 caliber sniper rifles. We're going big here. And they're no wait, we'll save that for later. Okay. I have a great idea for later. Anyway,
okay.
So he walks out in the street and he says, and he's on the ground. And all of a sudden
giant brown ball of fur.
It's just a big freaking terrifying rat. It's going rah, in his face. He's trying to hold it off. It's
And then you hear like all the survivors. You start hearing gunshots going off, and you're hearing bolt action. You're hearing the bolts cycling back and forth.
And then more rats show up, and it's like a pack.
And then the orchestra is just going all crazy, like violins and crap,
or whatever.
And then the screaming stops.
Screaming stops.
And all you're hearing is just like the squeaking of these giant rats.
And then we reveal our next star in the movie who says, we have to go. We have to go now. It has to be a female.
Obviously.
Because you have to have girls.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to repopulate the earth. I mean,
somehow.
I mean, we need women, preferably attractive women. I'm not judging anyone. Way to throw me off track, Matt. You're fucked.
Hey, first episode, I'm already fired. Sweet.
Jesus! As you can see, we have a running gag on the show. Anyway, so how far in are we? Okay, wow. Okay, so we need to get down to brass tacks, Matt.
Okay, so we introduced the survivors. You know, we've got, obviously they're gonna be whittled down slowly but surely over the course of this whole movie.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be a desperate struggle. They're going to be,
searching for supplies, and whenever they go to search, they're like, I hear there's a place full of bangers and mash, or something like that.
And
to anyone watching this in the United Kingdom, I thoroughly apologize for my insensitivity.
So, I don't apologize.
That's how he rolls.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, this is going to be played just play by play. It's basically a zombie apocalypse movie with giant rats, because, you know what?
The zombies are overdone these days.
And, yeah,
I mean, we got books, we got movies, we got video games. What do we not have books, movies, video games about? Giant rats. It's the perfect concept.
So, this is going to, obviously this part of this is just, we're going to play it straight, but so overdone that it's obviously it's going to go for some laughs.
Oh, I mean, there will be comedic value. Now, more serious than, say, Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But this is We Make It Movies. We have to take jabs at everything. We do.
But, it's going to be one of those things where you're going to have that sort of absurd moment like, did I really just see that?
Yeah, like, the opening sequence with Arthur Darvill getting slaughtered by rats is already terrible enough. And so, but anyway, we need to talk about cast, I guess. Okay, female lead. Who's British and female that we know? And could pull off a badass? I'm trying to avoid the obvious one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to avoid the obvious one. And she wouldn't do this kind of movie anyway. If we could get her to do the movie, that would be amazing. As if we were ever going to actually make this movie.
We're trying to avoid tying too much to Doctor Who. I know it's your favorite show.
No, I wasn't going for Doctor Who.
Oh, really?
He wouldn't be able to contain the wad in his pants.
Oh, she knows who I'm going for. She didn't say that. I hope that didn't come across on audio. Matt knows now, too. Crap. She would be a good fit for the character, but I'm trying to avoid it.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Who else we got? Oh. Casting.
Female lead. We have to be quick, Matt. Time constraints.
Screw it. We can... The longer we take, the more we can divvy this
Okay,
up.
Emma Watson's the female lead. We're going for that. One, she has the short hair, so you can have that generic short hair heroine type figure, like badass.
Yeah.
And she has like a, but she has a small gun because she's a girl. Once again, Jesus, our producer's a female. I might want to add. I would once again like to apologize. The producer is telling me to apologize for my insensitivity to the female community. Okay. She has a big pistol. It's like the hunting 550 cal hunting pistol.
And here's the thing, like, this is going to be one of those what the hell did I just see sort of things. She only uses it like once in the whole movie? And when she does, it fires like a fucking machine gun. It's just like you can see shell casings just flying out of the side of it.
And when she finally reloads, she still honestly goes, "Pink." Plink, 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 plink. You even have to kind of have that moment where even one of the other people around is looking up like, what just happened? Let's say it's like another guy played by All right. We need to have another. Okay. We need to have like a base cast of like 4 mains.
4 mains.
We already have 1, so we need 3 more. 2 more males and a female, I guess. Kind of even the.
Yeah.
group.
Okay.
No romance in this whatsoever, by the way. This is
like
straight up apocalypse. They don't. Nobody's doing anybody. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. There's like absolutely
no romantic chemistry. They're friends.
They're at this point. They're still just trying to figure out what they're still kind of shell shocked, so they're not really going to be sort of they're just going to be more worried about
no love triangles, no.
They're going to be more worried about not getting eaten by giant rats.
They're not Katniss. Someone had to say it.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, so male leads. Let's see here.
Okay, so
Hugh Laurie.
Yes, shaved head Hugh Laurie too. Not Dr. House Hugh Laurie, like shaved head, cigar out of the side of the mouth. Basically, Sergeant Johnson from Halo, played by Hugh Laurie.
I like it. Okay.
If they ever make a Halo movie, we need to retcon Sergeant Johnson and make him Hugh Laurie.
Okay.
That's next week.
Second male lead.
Second male lead needs to be. We've already got someone from the Doctor Who universe. You don't want to overdo that.
No.
Who would be good? Oh, I feel like an idiot. It's obvious. It's staring me in the face. Martin Freeman.
There we go.
Martin Freeman. He could be kind of the brain of the operation. He's not the best fighter in the world, but he's a good tactician. He knows how to deal with this.
But we got to give him like one pissed off scene.
Oh yeah, we have to have that kind of almost like in Sherlock when he gets pissed off at Sherlock, just when he goes off the deep end.
Mm-hmm.
That voice he does,
Yeah,
that we have to have that.
Okay. Second female lead. What do we got?
Second female lead needs to be. Who's a good British actress that's staring us in the face? It has to be staring us in the face. An older woman, but still very Penelope Wilton, who played Sean's mom in Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
She would be the kind of nurturing mother character who then turns around and blows the face off a rat with a shotgun. Imagine just like, it'll be okay.
Okay. All right. So, naturally, we're going to have the initial group's probably going to be about
10.
10,
like
so
the
from
4 mains and
from the
couple minors, and the rest are just kind of faceless.
For the opening scene, including the guy who gets mauled.
Arthur Darvill.
Yes. Including him, you start out with
Rory, we name him Corey.
Okay. So we've
just
got
a blatant reference. See what he has to work with.
So we've got our group of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, now we need... Okay, the generic zombie apocalypse path is head to the countryside first.
Head to the country. Oh, yeah, there's like we'll say Martin Freeman, his aunt had a cabin outside somewhere in Wales, and they had to travel south.
Yeah.
They travel south to Wales, and they'll follow the... oh god, I can't remember which M it is. Doesn't matter. They follow the interstate, more or less, the highway, down south towards Wales. It's outside of Cardiff, so they have to go a long way. So they need to find a vehicle.
And so naturally, they're hunting around
for usable vehicles, which in this situation is not going to be easy.
No, because you're not going to want something light that a giant rat's just going to go
you basically need, like, just to make it stylish, in a garage. They find something, they see a car under a sheet, and they're like, what's this? Just flip it over, pull the sheet off.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh Laurie pulls the sheet off, and his jaw just drops. It's like a 50s Rolls Royce, pearl white, sexy as all get out.
Yes.
There's 2 of them. They find this collector's garage, but the collector's there, and they have to kill him to take the cars. He's like, you can't have my cars, so they kill him.
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be some darkness, like, well, screw you, you know? In the real apocalypse, I mean, the guy holds the car from you. You're not going to be like, okay, we'll go find another one. No, you're going to blow us up.
Especially if you've got, like,
More
9
guns than he does.
Yeah, especially if at this point you've got, like, okay, let's be generous, 7 people with you. You outnumber them 7-1.
Yeah, he may take, and he takes out one of the faceless characters, you know, they're just dead. And you know, like, Penelope Wilton's over there as they're bleeding out, like, it's okay. And Hugh Laurie just walks and goes, we have to go. And they get in the, and they jump into these ridiculous, like the most obvious vehicles. Like, there's no stealth involved whatsoever. They jump these Rolls Royces.
Well, how do you account for? I mean, you know, giant rats are not going to be worrying about, you know, like
Color.
Yeah.
I mean, the rats are going to stop and go, why? It's a Scottish. Why? That's quite a stylish ride they got there. All the rats are Scottish. I'm not saying anything bad about Scotland. I'm on a roll for offending people tonight.
I don't know him. Send all your hate mail to him. I'm just
Send all your hate mail to I don't give 2 shits at AOL.com. It still exists. Those email addresses are still there. They are, it's true.
AOL. Oh my god.
Oh wait, it's written ABL.com. Or wait, BOL.com. I'm just gonna stop now. Our producer sneezed.
Bless you.
Anyway, so we have them. They're in the cars. They're going down. You know, the M.
Whatever.
The M16. No. Anyway, so they're going down the M whatever, and they're traveling south at breakneck speed towards the outskirts of Cardiff to get to this what they think will be a safe house. Mm-hmm. They don't know.
Yeah.
But it's better than anything else they got. And you'd have that big speech scene, you know, it's like Hugh Laurie and Martin Freeman, you know, in a room separated from the rest of them, and they're just sitting in there talking about the next move of Martin Freeman. Mitch is his cabin. He's like, Hugh Laurie's like, what are we supposed to do there? And he's like, you got any better ideas? And Hugh Laurie's like, I'll get the car. And they get in the car. They're going breakneck speed, and all of a sudden, roadblock.
Massive roadblock.
Massive roadblock. Like it's where the interstate's clogged up when the whole thing happened.
Oh my gosh.
And there's just no way they're penetrating this. And they have to stop. And then the most immortal line. What will become the most immortal line in all of horror cinema history is uttered by... I just realized we didn't get a second. Oh yeah, we got Penelope one. It's uttered by... It has to be uttered by Hugh Laurie.
You're giving Hugh Laurie all the cool lines, you realize.
Okay, it's got to be said by Emma Watson.
Okay.
Because in the original version of this line is said by a male. So we're going to switch up. She says, we can't stop here. This is rat country. I've been wanting to use this since the beginning of the episode. I want to use it so... It's in the script now. It's too late. We can't edit. Just everybody take a moment to imagine her saying that in her voice.
Oh my god.
Good night, everybody. Anyway, and everyone's just staring at her like you're
Okay. So after that happens,
After that, immortal scene and mutation
they're making their way,
through the cars. They have to walk.
and all right. So this is where like the highest body count, the highest survivor body count of the film is. This is going to be like the climax.
Okay. First, we need to address something. Who are the three minor characters? Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, because Edgar Wright is directing.
Mm-hmm.
Another girl, that ginger chick from the IT crowd,
Mm-hmm.
and can't put Gillian in because we already put
Mm-hmm.
Arthur Darvill in. So oh, what's her name? She was married to Lord Voldemort, and she played River Song. Whoever played River Song, I cannot remember. Highest professional standards here on We Make Up Movies. So basically, we have Sean, Ed, River Song, and Jen from the IT crowd. This is great.
So
Nothing could possibly go wrong. Sean and Ed have already survived one apocalypse. They're ready for round two. Well, Ed didn't. Anyway,
yeah,
doesn't matter.
spoilers.
If you haven't seen the movie by now, it's your fault.
So they're making their way through, and naturally, the last couple of faceless characters, they're
No. They just disappear. They kind of walking along, and it's been a little while since they've done a head count, and they're like, "Wait, where are Susan and Basil?" Basil's the old man in the background, played by he's Donna's grandpa. Bernard Cribbins.
yeah.
Bernard Cribbins. They're like, "Where's Basil? Where's Basil and Susan?" They stop, and Martin Freeman's like, "Stop!" Or however he sounds, and they stop and they do a head count, and they're like, "Where'd they go?" And then all of a sudden, it's like the beginning, whoosh, blur, and I'm like, "The hell was that? Whoosh, what was that?"
And again, the soundtrack's picking up at this point. Suspense is building. They're making their way. They're making their way through the. They're making their way through the wreck.
Yeah,
the wreckage. And this is where we hint at where the rats came from.
Yeah, it's like
there'll be like a couple of trucks that have like all these biohazard labels on them and crap.
And they have to walk up, and you're like, "What's this? What's this?"
And again, we're building up this suspense here, but nothing happens in this scene because we're just kind of wanting to put that idea in there. Just again, we don't really want to explain.
Well, they don't have time to think about it because
they're being
all
chased.
of a sudden they're under attack. Like the chase is over at this point. They stopped too long to be like, "What's this?" The rats are upon them. I mean, I'm talking like a swarm. I'm talking like 100 of these mutated rats, or sheep-sized rats, are out of nowhere.
And so, as our heroes are fighting them off, left and right, the secondary characters start dropping like flies. Bam, bam.
It's like they hold their own, because fight scenes can't drag on for too long.
Yeah.
Unlike this show, they have it's like. First off, you lose Jen from the IT crowd, who gets jumped on and her throat just gets ripped out. It's terrible, terrible way to go.
Yeah.
Then next it's Nick Frost, and Nick Frost, to kind of reference Hot Fuzz, he has two pistols, just going, and then he's not leaping through the air though. No. He's under attack, and he's trying to hold them off, and then you have to have that slow motion sad death scene, where he's like wounded, and he's up against the car like this, and he's like, and he hits the rat in the head. The rat falls down. Another rat falls. And then he pulls the trigger. He's out of ammo, and he just kind of does this. And then the rats swarm him, and then Simon Pegg has to go, "No!"
And then
jumps in after him, I guess.
No, they're pulling. They gotta pull.
They had to pull him back. Oh yeah, the classic pullback. He's like, "No, he's my best friend," and they're like, "We have to move, no!" And then they jump into like the back of an 18-wheeler and like Martin Freeman starts driving the 18-wheeler. It can't be Hugh Laurie. Like you said, Hugh Laurie's already had most of the cool bits of this movie.
So they're in their getaway vehicle now. But there's this suspense going on because they realize this thing had idled for a little while. So the gas tank is like really low. So
it's not only low, but because it's a diesel engine and it's cold outside.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not getting good compression.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to remember this is also a nuclear winter going on at the same time. Mm. So they're not able, because diesels rely on compression to start. They're not getting enough compression. They're like, go on, come on. And Martin Freeman's just like giving it all he's got, trying to turn it over. And then all of a sudden it starts. It's like the rats are like banging on the sides of the container in the back. They're all stuck in. And like Martin Freeman, they careens off. He's shooting cars to the side. And they make it through the buildup of cars. But then they run out of gas. They're out of diesel.
Oh no.
What are they going to do now? They've already lost 2 Rolls Royces, which is a travesty in its own right.
Yeah.
Those are sexy cars.
So at this point, they're stranded. Have they shaken the rats? Are they still being chased?
It's implied,
Okay.
but not necessarily. They believe they have shaken the rats, so with minimal comfort, basically. Like they have no choice. So pretty much, they have to stop. They have to stop because these guys would have been wounded in the fight. I mean, they're not all getting out unscathed.
Yeah.
So some of them have been scratched.
Yeah, they're bleeding. They're battered, low on ammo. Standard climax material right here.
They have to. And then a hard cut. They have a fire set in the back of the container.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, doors open. Don't want to suffocate. And
duh.
Yeah, and so they're sitting there and they're counting their ammo, and you have to have that slow scene. The storms happen, but another storm's coming. It's the eye of the storm, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
They're counting out their ammo. They're having their conversations about life.
Mm-hmm. Very inspirational stuff, by the way.
Very inspirational. I mean,
we tell you, but then then you'd have to credit us.
No, Penelope Wilton's thinking about giving up. There has to be that one dissension.
Yeah,
she's thinking about giving up, and and Hugh Laurie's like, yeah, what's the point? We've come this far, we're not going to make it.
And then
it's a letdown. And then all of a sudden, it has to be Emma Watson. Because
I was thinking Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg's. Oh yeah, Simon Pegg's like, that's perfect because he just lost his best friend.
So he gives
he's like, you sons of bitches! I just lost my best friend and dragged me away. We are not giving up now. We will not let Jim have died in vain. Poor Jimmy, my sweet daffodil. Were you two? No. It's just like, were you two? No. Kind of a Shaun of the Dead reference there.
So we get our inspirational speech, and then it's close to daybreak.
At the end of the inspirational speech, Martin Freeman's just standing there. He has like a canteen, and he's going, "Yes, let's do it." They hop out of the back,
and just to set the scene a little bit here, it's getting close to daybreak, so it's that pre-dawn lighting,
and it's hard to see. I mean, you would have to have a filter on the lens to convey it properly. Because whenever they film dawn scenes like in movies, you can see everything perfectly. Human eyes don't work that way. You don't see everything that well that early, because there's that weird kind of like Twilight-y feeling,
Anyway, so they start making their way towards
Cardiff.
Yeah.
And they see a road sign. It's like 20 kilometers to Cardiff. And Martin Freeman does a little quick math and said that means we only have about 16 until we make it to the cabin. Mm-hmm. So, this is like on the outskirts. This is a bit away. This is in the countryside, rolling. Well, they're brown now because of the nuclear apocalypse. But what were once the rolling green hills of England? Mm-hmm. Or Wales.
So they're making... It's about midday now.
When they start to approach the cabin.
Yeah.
Like they were hauling. I mean,
yeah.
They're hauling ass. They're getting there.
And that's when the second wave hits.
The second wave hit. First they have to get into the cabin and realize it's already been ransacked. Mm. It was all for naught. Simon Pegg's on the ground crying because his best friend died for nothing. You know, Hugh's cussing up a storm. Martin Freeman, is just like hands on the head, and they're all just shell shocked. And then, you have one of them sitting off to the side, and they see, and like they just see it coming from across over the horizon of the next hill in front of them. It's a brown wave. I mean, it's like the rats followed them. Apparently, rats have gathered quite the intelligence over it. They're mutated. Who knows? Yeah. Maybe they even speak. We don't know. That's a sequel.
We'll figure that out.
In the sequel, rats talk. Voice of Benedict Cumberbatch. We didn't put him in this movie. We had to put him in the second movie. He's in the second Star Trek. He's in the second Hobbit. It's only natural for him to be in the second mutation. So anyway, they see them coming, and they start setting up quick. And all of a sudden, they hear a horn from a truck. From behind them, not from where the brown waves come from, behind them. Mm-hmm. And out of the back of the truck, with some new friends, who jumps out? Arthur Darvill. He survived. He survived the initial attack.
Plot twist!
Plot twist. M. Night Shyamalan co-directing. First AD. Anyway, so he jumps out with some new friends, and Emma Watson looks at him and goes, "How did you survive?" And he's like, "I'll tell you later." And then she realizes he's missing 3 fingers on his left hand. I don't know why. I can't explain why, but he's only missing 3 fingers, And he's not even injured for the rest. He's just missing 3 fingers. There's no cuts on his face or on his arms or anything. It's just 3 fingers. So him and his new friends, they're bracing for the attack, and the friends have like a technical, like a 50 on the back. And he tells them to get ready, and Hugh Laurie and Martin Freeman are telling everybody to get ready, They're throwing clips to each other, standard war movie stuff.
Yeah.
And then the onslaught begins. They start firing. And and they hold out for a little while, 2-3 minutes, There's lots of like yelling to each other, like, "Cover my back, I'm reloading," all that stuff.
Yeah. But
then it starts to get really bad. Like they're being completely overrun by the thousands of mutated rats. Mm-hmm. There's like one particular, and then you have to have that crappy horror movie thing that happens in every horror movie, where one, for no apparent reason, bigger rat shows up. It's like a tank rat. It's like a 5-ton rat just shows up. It's like super rat, has a cape,
and then at this point, zoom in on Simon Pegg. This is how he goes out. Showing down with the giant rat.
And, he fights it for a little, like, shooting at it. It's like mosquitoes to giant 5-ton rat. I mean, he's just shooting, like an AK at giant rat. It's not doing anything to him. So, and he has one thing. He has 1 brick of C4. And a detonator and a trigger. And he has to pull a Tommy Lee Jones from Men in Black 1.
Mm-hmm.
Except he actually does.
Yeah, obviously.
He runs at the rat, jumps at its throat, and just detonates the C4. And you have to have that crappy where the explosion's bigger than anything else. And the giant rat just blows into pieces. And they all have like that stunned, like, End of Lord of the Rings look, where like, and you have to have like Martin Freeman pulling Pippin from the end of it, where he's like, "Jimmy, Jimmy," and then he stops and he realizes he's like, "Jimmy," just starts crying, but he can't stop because they're still fighting a battle.
But little do they realize that they're so in shock that they realize that this giant explosion has driven off the vast majority of this army, because these rats have never really
they've never experienced since the beginning of the Rat War. There has not been much air support or anything of the like where there are huge explosions.
Yeah, so that freaks them out. So they start.
But there's still some rats.
Yeah. So only all but the most determined rats have just fled. So the dust clears. We've got our main leads.
And they're all that's left.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all that's left. So, because River Song's been killed in this fight too.
Yeah.
And then I like how we give Simon Pegg and Nick Frost both the coolest deaths. Or have we? There's one death yet to come I have in mind.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the obvious death that has to happen. So anyway, they're still fighting the remainders,
Yeah.
That just refuse to give them attack. And there's still a solid 200 rats around.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like the 5,000 rats that it was before. But, most of the core... most of Corey's friends are dead,
Mm-hmm.
and there's not much left. And like a rat jumps up on the technical and grabs the machine gunner off, just. So he jumps up on the 50 and he's going crazy with the 50 cal,
And then he starts screaming shit like, "You rat motherfuckers!
You rat motherfuckers! You rat ass bastards!"
Because why not?
No country for old rats. I don't know. Okay, that one didn't make
tired.
any sense.
I'm tired of these motherfucking rats
on this motherfucking plane. Because they're on a plane. Get it? That's the best line. Stop it, producer. Don't bring us down. So we have... So vast majority of the onslaught's over.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but the rats are regrouping, they're realizing, wait, we can go back. So the rat mass starts to return, and they're like, Hugh Laurie's he's like, okay, I know what we need to do. Last rat that isn't quite dead comes up, grabs him, pulls him down, mortally wounds him.
Mm-hmm.
But Martin Freeman, shoots it in the head, I was like, and
Yeah.
he's sitting there, and Hugh Laurie has something special he's been hiding from the rest of them. We will have hinted about this throughout the movie. Hugh Laurie has a secret, because he's ex-military.
Yeah, obviously.
He has the codes for the British nuclear arsenal. That they have, for some reason, right before the war, they made one ICBM, and you can direct it to this location if you send in the code, and he gives it. He's like, "This is the epicenter. We have to take it out." And Martin Freeman's like, "But what about you?" And they're all around him crying. He's like, and he just hands it the code, and going with the Sergeant Johnson theme, "Send me out with a bang." And then he has to have that really dumb look that Johnson had at the end there. He's like, yeah. It just falls. His head falls by. Hurt. Blah. Finally got one in. And it's and you have to have that really dramatic scene of from the end of Armageddon where Bruce Willis's life flashed before his eyes as Hugh Laurie's life flashed before his eyes, and then he dies. They're like, and then he's like, then Martin Freeman looks at him, he's like, the launch site isn't that far from here. It's only 5 kilometers. Which, going with movie logic, they'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
But they have to launch this missile only 5. It would be quicker to get a truck and carry the missile to the site than actually go through the setup process for the missile. Mm-hmm. And on it, there are 2 keys. It's 2 of us have to make it. We must avenge him. Must avenge the Colonel's death. Yeah, Hugh Laurie was Colonel.
Because why not?
He's a Colonel. I imagine Hugh Laurie being Colonel. Makes sense. Anyway. I'm like Stephen Fry, the pretentious general. Anyway, so they start making their way to the bunker.
Mm-hmm.
They make it to the bunker, and it's overrun with rats. But there's quick scenes of them clearing the few rats that have made it in. They shut the door behind them, and it's Martin Freeman and Penelope Wilton and Emma Watson and Arthur Darvill are all there. They're standing there. Penelope is I don't want my name on this. This is still a nuclear strike. There's still people around. He's like, you know, you have to have that one voice dissension.
Yeah.
Martin Freeman's like, well, I can do it. The other's like, I've seen too much death. I can't do it either. So it's Martin Freeman and him and he throws it. The key. He's like, we don't have a choice. They both stick the keys into the console. Martin Freeman enters the code 133 Sorry, I had to.
Why?
I've already ruined the episode. No, he enters the code. They turn the keys, smash the button. Everything starts to shake.
Mm-hmm.
Shake, but for some reason the missile isn't lifting off. One of one of the clamp things that hold in place is stuck. You have to manually release it, but it's certain death because it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
And in real life they'd have safeties for that, but this is a movie.
Yeah. It's the apocalypse.
It's the apocalypse. Everything's run down. It's been a few years.
Yeah.
Since maintenance. So they draw straws
Mm-hmm.
to see who goes.
Mm-hmm.
And then Arthur Darvill draws the short straw once again after being mauled by rats at the beginning of the movie.
And only losing three
fingers and nothing else. They finally take him. He's like, okay, I'll do this. He starts to walk out the door. Penelope Wilton, being the mother figure she is, pushed him aside, slams the door shut, and puts like a bar in it to keep him from getting out, which will retcon later they'll be able to get out. There's an escape hatch. And then she runs down, and they're like, no! And she runs down, and she's like, it's done! And then she's incinerated by the flame coming out the back of the missile. Somehow it still has enough fuel to make it. It's only 5 kilometers. Let's be serious. It doesn't need a lot of fuel.
Yeah.
Anyways, and it lands, and then you have to cut back to Hugh Laurie's Colonel, and he's sitting there smoking.
Mm-hmm.
He just nods his head. And then blinding white light. Then
Sad music.
Then it gets to sad Hulk music. Sad Hulk music is perfect for that. And then they're all sitting there. They're like, what have we done? Then Martin Freeman's like, more importantly, how are we going to get the hell out of here?
And then basically just it's almost they start searching around and
they find the hatch.
They climb up, and then you know what? Like the movie ends with them staring at the smoldering remains of Cardiff.
And then
Sorry, Cardiff, by the way.
Sorry, Cardiff. Yeah, Cardiff's gone. The blast was so large. And then the sequel is how are they going to start the rating? It's not a happy ending.
No.
By any means. Like, too many horror apocalypse movies have a happy ending where it's like, oh, we made it. I mean, we lost some friends along the way, but everything's going to be okay now. Civilization is returning, and everything's all marmalade and butterflies. I mean. Marmalade and Butterflies. That's the name of this episode. Marmalade and Butterflies. That's being I don't know where Marmalade and Butterflies came from. Anyway, so basically, it's the end of the movie. Cut to credits.
Yeah, go through the credits, and it's
no. You have to cut the credits. It's before the what we're going to add on at the end.
Oh, yeah, obviously. You got to have a post-credit sting.
You have to have the song.
Yeah.
The song has to be Everything Will Be Alright. There is a song called Everything Will Be Alright by the Killers. That has to be our closing song.
Okay. And then the post-credit stinger is going to be like again, one of those kind of just generic, like, the rats will return kind of thing.
And it's like, or better yet, we could hint at the return of another character. Like, it's like the remains of the giant rat, and you see like something pokes at the outside of like under one of the flaps skin, something pokes the flaps to the outside of the skin again. Somehow the giant rat is shielded the explosion, but he's poking out, and then you see like the end of Simon Pegg's gun just like pop out of the end in his hand. Cut to black.
Oh, we're so gonna get sued for this.
Official endorsement of the Cornetto trilogy. I think Simon Pegg would dig having that be the end of the movie.
Yeah.
He lives.
Mm.
I mean, Nick Frost is a good return, but you know, it's okay.
Yeah.
We have to have Scotty. New Scotty. Not old Scotty, new Scotty. So, on that bombshell.
But, Tish.
Yeah.
No.
So, that was Mutation. Verbal copyright.
Yeah.
So, I'm a little ashamed of myself.
As we should.
As we will be at the end of every episode.
Oh gosh.
Jesus Christ. So.
I don't have anything to throw. End it right.
I'm so ashamed I can't even dodge the bottle.
I've gotten
I'm
good
so
at it.
sick I can't throw it.
Oh.
So
Anyway, we hope you'll join us next week.
If there is a next week.
There will be another episode. We're not exactly sure when. We'll probably be doing these on a bi-weekly basis. So every other week, we hope to be releasing a new episode of We Make Up Movies. We hope you've enjoyed this asinine trip through Ratland, the Rat-pocalypse, if you will. And I'd like to say thank you for watching if you've made it this far. I'm Seth.
I'm Matt.
Have a good night and a great time. Later.
We're sorry.